Because it is, again, I'm sure there may have been a few people in that ward that wouldn't have gone down the path that you had and fell into, okay, well, I'm going to lean on this accident that's happened to me, my situation right now, and what I can't do in life. Do you think either these practices lent to not getting into that victim mentality, or do you think there was something else that you had perhaps lent on from being an athlete, being a pro before that?
I think it's like not a perfect storm, but it's just like everything's added into the concoction of it. You know, being in professional sport or sport in general naturally helps you build resilience because, you know, it's a bit of a roller coaster. You know, you're not just winning every week. There's selection, injuries, you know, you don't know where your next contract's going to come from, all of these sorts of things. And if you dwell too much on a bad game, it's going to affect your performance next week. You have to learn to let go of things. And the same when if you have a good game, you know, you have to learn to let go of that to a certain degree as well and focus on the next thing. You can't sit on your laurels. And I think that helped me with my own recovery because it was a bit of a roller coaster. So that's probably one of the main elements from sport, as well as the teamwork side of ththings, because recovering from something like this isn't just an individual thing. You've got to rely on physios, doctors, family, you know, and I kind of recognized that early on. And in a weird way, as much as they were motivating me, I was deliberately trying to motivate them because, you know, if the team around you is positive and driven, then that was going to benefit me too. So they were the kind of things I'd already realized from sport. But then, like, shifting out of the victim mindset was as much of a distraction, I think, in terms of it ended up me switching out of the victim mindset. But it was like, okay, I can't stay in this position. So things like mindfulness, constructive distractions as well. So focusing intensely on the processes so that I didn't have time to sit there and ponder, you know, the meaning of all of this. You know, why did this happen? And then as I got further down the line and I was making a recovery, I also looked at that gratitude piece, reflecting, you know, looking the other way, not just looking up. I think in life we're quite guilty of looking at the things we haven't got and not appreciating the things we have. And when you spend time with people who don't have as much as you, then you start to feel more grateful about your own situation. And I definitely started to feel that too. And then in time, that all just sort of added up to me now being in a position where I do feel incredibly grateful. And it's easier for me to be there now because of what has transpired. Like, I have a life now full of way more full of purpose than I ever had, even as a professional player. You know, I'm in a position where I am independent and I can go to the mountains and take on challenges, but running this charity and actually having a positive impact on other people's lives is something that wouldn't have come about if I didn't dive into the wrong end of a swimming pool. And I think there was a moment where I realized about a year after my accident when I climbed Snowdon, and there were all these people who came to support and said that my journey was really helping them. And I really felt like some good was coming out of it. And I thought, actually, if enough good comes out of this situation for other people, then by definition, it turns from a bad situation to a good situation, a bad moment to a good moment when I dived in the pool. Because if enough good has come out of it, I wouldn't be able to, I shouldn't go back and say, I wish I hadn't dived in the pool because of all this good that's come out of it. And I kind of set off on this path to get for as much good to come out of that day where I dived into the pool and broke my neck and everything that's transpired since, that I would get to a point where it was like, no, I wouldn't take it back. And, you know, that happened actually quicker than I thought. So I don't have any regret about it anymore. So there is no victim mindset at all. In fact, I feel grateful for it, which was an interesting and counterintuitive place to get to when I got there, but it's real. I fully feel it.